Good morning and welcome all of you to PW Only IAS English. So these are the topics that we are going to see in the daily news analysis for 10th of March 2025 with me Jatin Verma. So guys, first of all, National Education Policy 2020. Why there is a lot of fuss about the three language formula. The three language formula, which has been a matter of controversy in the 1960s, in the 1970s, is back in debate again. So we are going to talk about the mandate of the new national education policy vis-a-vis the debate that is going on in the Indian polity, the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan issue and the other related issues we are going to talk about. Then why, despite 1 month of the Supreme Court's instructions, why the procedure for appointment of the process for the appointment of ad hoc judges hasn't begun yet. These are the other news articles that we are going to see for the day. Madhav National Park in Madhya Pradesh becomes India's 58th tiger reserve. And I ask you, how many tiger reserves are there already in Madhya Pradesh? Right, we are going to discuss this in detail. Rail PSUs eye parallel growth. This is a mains oriented topic wherein we are going to talk about the profitability of public sector enterprises and the railway PSUs, Rail Vidyut Nigam Limited and others. How are they trying to strive? How are they striving to achieve the profitability as we are talking about? Peru, Turkey, these are the countries where railway PSUs have applied for the projects on public-private partnership basis or on government-to-government basis. So this is an issue going to be importance for Polity GS mains paper 2 profitability and for public administration also. Likewise, national education policy, then how scammers use Gen AI and what you can do to protect yourself. This is very interesting article, how the deep fake is being used, how the phishing phenomena has taken an kind of new avatar in the age of AI. Then Center awaits prospective names from the High Court judges. This is what we have discussed. Bitcoin as a strategic US reserve. Does it make sense? Briefly, we are going to discuss about this also. Now, moving further, Madhav National Park becomes 58th tiger reserve. So first of all, let's have a look at how the UPSC has been asking questions insofar as these type of topics are concerned. PYQ, first of all, let's have a look at this question. Which of the following are in Agastyamalaya Biosphere Reserve? They are not only asking about the concerned biosphere reserve, okay, they are even asking about the terminology. For example, have a look at this question: critical tiger habitat. So the terminology in the tiger policy or any terminology given by the National Tiger Conservation Authority, all those things are also of concern to UPSC, unlike other one-day exams. So please answer these questions, and let's have a look at now the related news. Madhav National Park. Related aspects, you have to study National Tiger Conservation Authority. I ask you a question here. When did the Project Tiger start? What was the year? Then what is the year of Project Elephant? These two programs were started separately. Now, is National Tiger Conservation Authority a statutory body, or is it just an executive body, or you can say that extra statutory body that is created by the Ministry of Environment and Forest? So it is a statutory body. We have to remember this thing also. Now, coming to this part, Madhav National Park, it is located in the state of Madhya Pradesh. In what range of mountains? You have to remember this: Upper Vindhyan Range. That is why I have incorporated a map also. Madhav National Park, Upper Vindhyan Himalayas, okay, Upper Vindhyas. So you have to remember this detail also. And total 9 national parks are there in state of Madhya Pradesh now. Okay, which state is the state with highest number of national parks? You should be knowing this. And lakes, what lakes are located in this Madhav National Park? Sakhya Sagar and Madhav Sagar. These are the two lakes in the southern part of the park, Madhav National Park, providing aquatic biodiversity and lifeline for the terrestrial species also. Now, National Tiger Conservation Authority we have covered. Now, what are we left with is the process. In the next day's DNA, we are going to include the process of declaration of a new national park. This news is there since last 1 year. Okay, Madhav National Park will be created in the state of Madhya Pradesh. So what is the process of it? NTCA's approval is required. Okay, National Tiger Conservation Authority studies the area and then this designation is given. This is just one aspect. As I said, in the next day's DNA, tomorrow's DNA, we are going to have some more details about Madhav National Park. Now, coming to the other aspects here, related aspects we have studied here. NTCA was created in 2005 following the recommendations of Tiger Task Force and was given the status of statutory authority under Section 38L of the Wildlife Protection Amendment Act 2006. So, the park area forms a catchment area of Sindh River. This has been observed in case of Rushikulya, Odisha, insofar as these olive ridley turtles are concerned, that the nearby rivers adjoining or passing through the park or concerned biosphere reserve have also been of concern, guys. Okay, so drainage pattern is towards the north and northeast in the northern area of the park, forming the catchment area of Amarnadi. So this is another detail that you need to memorize with regard to this park. Moving further, this was a small news though. Critically, this is the answer to this. Critical tiger habitats. What are these? So, Wildlife Protection Act 1972 declares these type of habitats as critical tiger habitats. You can read the details here. Moving further, now the profitability here of not just rail PSUs. You talk about rail PSUs, Rail Vidyut Nigam Limited and other PSUs also. They have been tying up with the governments of the other countries. You talk about Bangladesh, you talk about Sri Lanka, you talk about Peru, Turkey. So countries as far as South America, they are scouting for the projects so as to make railways overall as an entity profitable entity, right? So even though the rail budget has been separated, etc., but despite that, the approach towards profitability is there across the railway ministry. A rule was changed in 2021, wide which now the railway PSUs, they can scout for the projects. They should not only be dependent on the railways alone, not only the Indian railways. They should look forward to signing up the projects with other entities, be it a government to government project with the government of Peru or public private partnership in Turkey or likewise. Okay, so we came across a news earlier last year that Google, the railway, one of the rail PSUs, it has tied up with the Google for by lending the railway line, telecom line to Google on lease for providing internet in the railways or around the railway stations. So these type of tie-ups on the already existing infrastructure or monetizing of the railway assets, be it of the Railtel, be it of any other entity. Okay, so that helps the government derive value out of these railway or any other public sector enterprises. This is how we can talk of BSNL. This is how we can talk of other government entities which are having a huge pile of or stock of infrastructure assets that need to be monetized. This is just a leaflet in your notes. You can note it down for GS Mains paper 3 as well. Now moving further, venturing overseas, I have told you countries as far as Saudi Arabia, Uzbekistan, you talk about Central America, Central Asia, you talk about West Asia, you talk about South America. The railways is everywhere now. Railway PSUs, they are vying for projects not only in the railways. This is the crux of it. Moving further to another news, why does NEP 2020, what does NEP 2020 state about languages? So even though there is a lot of fuss going on about the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan fund not being released by the government, central government ministry, okay, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has been crying hawks about it, has been saying that why the funds have not been released. It is like targeting the opposition ruled states. But we have to look at the policy, the document. What does it say? National education policy, unlike the previous education policies, has been quite flexible about the formula part. Okay, even though the national education policy 1968 was quite rigid, but that is not the case with national education policy, the latest one. So having a look at it, it says that the primary focus is on using home language, mother tongue, as the cognitive skills of children, they improve drastically. It has been found scientifically. Okay, we are going to talk about AI, SIS also in a short while. So what happens is, at least until grade 5 and preferably until grade 8, national education policy is saying this, that we should follow the home language, mother tongue or local language or the regional language as the medium of instruction. National education policy even goes beyond this. It says that even beyond grade 8, the local language or the home language should continue to be taught as a language. Rational research has indicated that young children learn and grasp concepts more effectively in their native languages. So, early exposure to multiple languages, particularly the mother tongue, has significant cognitive benefits. So, this is the reason that National Education Policy advocates for mother tongue as the medium of instruction up till at least grade 5 or preferably grade 8. This is what you have to memorize. Now, because of the reason that debate is going on, we need to cite the national education policies this point so as to have an argument in favor of mother tongue in the local language. Now, shift from 1968 policy. The 1968 formula emphasized Hindi, English and modern Indian language with specific recommendations for the Hindi and non-Hindi speaking states. Even though this 1968 policy, whatever articles we have read, on the basis of that, it was quite rigid, the old policy. Comparative to old policy, the 2020 policy is quite flexible about it, offering greater flexibility to the southern states. Not only the southern states, you talk about North Indian states as well. Flexibility and non-imposition regime or non-imposition approach is being witnessed in this National Education Policy 2020. So this National Education Policy was brought about by K. Kasturi Rangan Committee. You can take a note of it. Kasturi Rangan Committee was there. That this committee suggested this policy. Then it aims to provide flexibility in the choice of the three languages. Encouragement of certain languages. Sanskrit is strongly encouraged with a dedicated section in the policy document advocating for its inclusion. Classical languages Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Odia, then Pali, Persian and Prakrit are also promoted as options. So Prakrit otherwise does not find mention. Okay, so here Prakrit is there. Persian I would mention specifically, Persian also. So here Persian is also being promoted, right? So these can be looked upon, these statements guys can be looked upon as the options in your exam. So just memorize them, just have a little small note made on it so that you memorize. Now, mother tongue promotion, National Education Policy 2020 emphasizes the importance of learning in mother tongue. This is all in this news. Early exposure encourages the better cognitive skills. That is, multilingualism has got cognitive advantages. The policy understands this. Some other day we will talk about the vocational aspects, etc. Now, looking at the survey, what survey is it? All India School Education Survey. Who brings this out? It is brought out by NCERT. What are its salient findings? Salient findings are, even in the rural areas and in the urban areas, in both the areas, we see that there is a decrease in the mother tongue instruction. Okay, even though the decrease is more steeper in urban areas, mother tongue was earlier being followed by 90% people. Okay, but it has come down to 80%. In the rural areas, it was followed by the mother tongue was followed as the medium of instruction by 92%. It has come down to 87.5%. Okay, so the question can be, all India School Education Survey is done by which institution? Okay, it is done by which ministry? So you have to remember this. It is NCERT. NCERT comes under which ministry? You have to answer in the comment section. This trend is observed when comparing the 8th survey 2009 data to 7th survey 2002 data. Now, AISES, specifically the 8th survey of AISES, reveals the decline in percentage of schools using mother tongue as the medium of instruction. So you have to memorize this aspect. Rural schools have a higher percentage of mother tongue instruction than urban schools. However, both rural and urban areas experienced a decrease. Both of them are experiencing a decrease. Okay, as I said, in urban areas it has come down from 90 to 80% approximately. Okay, but in the rural areas the percentage is still above 85%. Now, around the debate, they may not ask the data even if the debate is going on, but AISES is brought out by which institution? This data is the fodder material for your mains examination, that for citation value you can use this data, right? Now let's have a look at the question. National Education Policy 2020 is in conformity with the Sustainable Development Goal 4. It intended to restructure and reorient the education system in India. Okay, critically examine the statement. How restructure and how reorient. So you need to be knowing the meaning of these terms. Okay, restructuring in the sense that syllabus, etc., vocational education, then grade 5, what will be called as primary, secondary, senior secondary, that restructuring has been brought about. Reorientation, basically focus on vocational education after 14 years, those kind of things. So this was the question asked in 2020 when this national education policy was brought out. Okay, 2021 rather, UPSC mains official question it is. Now moving to another topic here, why there is a lot of delay now, even in the appointment of ad hoc judges. Now, central government says that it is awaiting the names, okay, from the respective high courts. Respective high courts, their chief justice of the high court is required to initiate the process to appoint ad hoc judges. So, ad hoc judges are appointed under Article 224A. Okay, Article 224A deals with appointment of ad hoc judges. So, considering the backlog of around 18 to 20 lakh cases, criminal cases, okay, let me tell you about the data. 62 lakh overall cases, the civil nature and the criminal nature, are pending across various high courts, highest of the pendency being in Allahabad High Court. Okay, so that being the case, ad hoc judges, because their names have already been vetted, vetted means approval, they have retired from the system, so it becomes a relatively easier thing for the center and the states to approve, for basically the Supreme Court and the central government to arrive at the same page, to arrive at a consensus insofar as approving their names is concerned. That is why we are resorting to the phenomena of appointment of retired judges. During the time when we were discussing this clipping, I gave you certain reasons as to why not to appoint ad hoc judges. Well, that's the debate of the past now. Still, quickly we'll revise them. See, ad hoc judges might also be handpicked. Okay, it's not the case that only the honest of the ad hoc judges will be picked up. Handpicking by the central government and the uncle judges phenomena that we see in the Supreme Court or in the high courts, that judges who have retired might have fraternity, might have good ties with the judges who are still in the system. Maybe the judges who are still in the system, as they were younger than the judges who have retired, so younger judges might want to pay off their debt, in the sense that the judge who retired, who is going to be appointed as the ad hoc judge, might want to, okay, extract favors from the younger judge whose name once the ad hoc judge recommended. Ad hoc judge was earlier a senior to him. Now the younger judge is the chief justice of, for example, Allahabad High Court. The younger judge whose name was once upon a time recommended by the same ad hoc judge who's now retired, right? So this is like paying off the debt within the system. Nepotism, high chances are there, and maybe these judges are going to be the favorites of the executive. So that is the problem, and by resorting to ad hoc judges phenomena, you are demoralizing the entire judiciary, right from the district level judges who aspire to be the high court judges one day. Because of the lateral entry of these ad hoc judges, you are going to, in a way, deprive their chances of getting promoted to the high court level. This is a serious concern, demoralizing the young budding lawyers, young budding judges, in the sense that they have now bleaker chances of being elevated to the level of high court. Clear? So now looking at this thing, even at this, even though this ad hoc mechanism has now been in principle agreed to by the Supreme Court, now also there is a delay, right? If I were to use a term, there's a state of judicial emergency in the country. 62 lakh cases pending, tarikh pe tarikh going on. Despite that, snail's pace phenomena is observed here as well. Okay, Article 224A of the Constitution allows the appointment of the retired judges as ad hoc judges in the High Court to help deal with the pendency. The procedure for appointing ad hoc judges follows a similar path as regular judges, except the president does not sign a, now please note this statement, except the fact that the president does not sign a warrant of appointment but gives the assent, gives the signature, and these judges are appointed for a term of 2 years depending upon the agreement that the government signs with them. Okay, so each high court should keep the appointment of 2 to 5 ad hoc judges and not exceeding 10% of the total strength. For example, if there are 32 judges in the Allahabad High Court, maximum number of ad hoc judges that could be appointed is going to be 3 judges only. All right, 3 judges only. For example, if there are 20 judges in some high court, then 2 judges only can be appointed as ad hoc judges. Ad hoc judges will sit in a bench presided over by a sitting judge of the high court and decide the pending criminal appeals. They can be appointed for criminal appeals only, because lawlessness, the culture of lawlessness insofar as criminal cases are concerned, is more grave, right? People taking crime into their hands in order to get justice or in order to victimize somebody, that is a troublesome phenomena. So the court kept certain conditions, like in the Lok Prahari case, I have incorporated the news clipping from the 7th February DNA. That is the advantage of having legacy. Okay, so you also, if you have your notes, you can refer back to our 7th February 2025 DNA. Trigger points: Lok Prahari case. The criteria in 2021 Lok Prahari judgment of the Supreme Court for the criteria to be followed for appointing ad hoc judges is different from today's criteria. The latest criteria given by the Supreme Court on this judgment of 7th February 2025. Okay, so if the vacancies for appointing such judges include, if the vacancies in a high court exceed 20%, then only. If the cases in a specific category have been pending for more than 5 years, then only in that high court the ad hoc judges could be appointed. Otherwise, ad hoc judges should not be appointed in a high court where the cases in a specific category are of the age less than 5%, 5 years. Now, if more than 10% of the high court cases are pending for over 5 years, this criteria was very rigid. That is why ad hoc judges could not be appointed, because very few high courts met this criteria. That is why none of the ad hoc judges, 2 or 3 ad hoc judges have only been appointed. That is why the Supreme Court in 2025 revised the criteria and said that this condition in Lok Prahari case, whereby the permission to appoint the ad hoc judges is given only when judicial vacancies in a particular high court exceed 20%, then only the high court judges, ad hoc judges could be appointed. This criteria is coming in the way of appointment of the judges. So they have now revised it to just 10% of a high court's strength, that the maximum strength of the ad hoc judges being appointed shall not be more than 10%. This being the case. Moving further, how scammers use Gen AI and what can you do to protect yourself? First of all, the modus operandi. So they are using deepfake, they are using, it has given a new lease of life to the phishing phenomena. Okay, text-based fraud. AI text generators produce grammatically correct, persuasive messages in various languages for phishing and scams. You know, phishing is sending mails which may have some link embedded in them, taking you, redirecting you to your bank account where you have already saved your password, the default password saving thanks to Google Chrome. And you might be, I would use the word seduced into logging into your bank account to avail that offer of applying for a credit card. But you might end up end up losing all your money lying in your bank account. So phishing is like a trappy message or mail, wherein the links are embedded even in the photo or image that is there. They can also generate malicious code for fake websites. Okay, so the entire code of SBI, for example, State Bank of India, can be generated and the website would look near the same. That is why recently RBI came with the proposal that to save people of their hard-earned money, losing from their hard-earned money, the bank separate domain name for the banks in India, bank.in, would be used, so that people while logging into their bank or website can be careful that if it is bank.in, then it is the registered domain, registered website address. Otherwise, it is another trap or it might be a fake website. Okay, so image based fraud. AI generated images create realistic deepfakes of individuals for identity theft. Let's have a look at this image of Barack Obama. Okay, so deepfake can create such type of images, wherein any celebrity, any public figure, anybody who is renowned might be found in some objectionable position, right? So these type of things are happening. Audio based fraud. AI voice cloning might generate the Amitabh Bachchan's voice. Okay, फेक ऑडियो रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स, मैं अमिताभ बच्चन बोल रहा हूँ फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप कौन बनेगा करोड़पति में भाग लेने के लिए 10,000 रुपये की राशि हमें भेज सकते हैं. दिस इज हाउ people get entrapped. Okay, you must have seen the series Jamtara, how they do it, right? So now video based fraud, don't take it too seriously. Amitabh Bachchan thing, you need not generate or deposit 10,000 rupees. AI generated videos create deep fake video calls, fabricating scenarios where victims appear to be in distress and requesting financial assistance. Okay, so victims, maybe the voice might sound the one like your loved one, your somebody you are closely related to. So that is the problem. Okay, so the instances of people snatching phone and then making distress calls to deposit money, these have already been observed across Delhi police, Bengaluru police, in the metro cities. Now, if the simple application, AI voice based application, could be installed emulating, copying the voice of the person whose phone has been snatched, you look at the panic it would spread across to their relatives, to the relatives of the person who has lost the phone or whose phone has been snatched away. So this is how the frauds are happening. We need to be careful about it. Warning signs: unexpected money request. Second, request for specific financial action, demand to redeem a gift card, claim prizes, pay fines, repay loans, pay customs officials, or pay the bail amount for somebody. Unfamiliar text or media. Exercise extreme caution with texts or media files from unknown senders. Okay, then aggressive or intimidating tactics. Scammers may use aggressive behavior to force compliance, especially in the video scams like digital arrest. Then, digital arrest is somebody has been arrested and you need to pay the money to get him out, etc. etc. Sense of urgency, quickly you have to do it. Emphasis on secrecy, please don't tell anyone that you are sending money. Okay, keeping the matter secret from others. Your pornographic video has come up, we are going to release it, and otherwise you have to deposit 5000 rupees immediately. Unsecured financial transactions, avoid sharing financial information. So this is the modus operandi of these people. Safeguard devices. Okay, then another phenomena that is witnessed is using the sexually explicit images, create fake social media profiles, fabricate fake documents, Aadhaar card, etc. etc. So these type of things are happening now. Be skeptical of official looking calls, then verify charity authenticity. Whether you are sending the money to the right NGO or right religious institution, because out of bhavna, out of emotions, we sometimes do not cross check the website address. So, secure devices of minors and vulnerable elders. Set social media accounts to private to prevent misuse. So, then it won't be social, right? This is the problem of our age, net age. Educate children about online safety and AI generated content. So these are the kind of things. Okay, now practice MCQ on deepfake. This is the practice MCQ. Artificial intelligence techniques, primarily deep learning, they can be used to manipulate audio and video content to create realistic but fabricated portrayals. So these things are there. Now primarily we have covered most of the news articles of the day. Please let me know your thoughts as to how can we how you finding this recorded version of the daily news analysis. Are you comfortable with it? Because I had announced this change on Saturday. Many of you, because of the weekend, did not watch it. Please let us know your thoughts as to whether you're liking it, because this helps me research better out of live. Sometimes what happens is students also find the difficulty, because sometimes the part of the screen where we are studying, etc., is covered. So when it comes to theory part, the reading part or understanding or grasping part, or you absorbing the information part, visibility of the text is also important. So let's see how this experiment goes. Otherwise, we'll switch back to the live version only, depending upon your views and feedback. Please keep on answering the questions. That is equally important for you guys. That was all in today's news analysis, guys. Thank you. Have a good day. Keep studying, keep working hard. The success will be yours one fine day for sure. Thank you. Bye bye.